On today's episode of WatchJRGo, we are back in the shop with the NC Miata that's getting turboed, and we're running out of time to do it. We're one day closer to this car leaving for Colorado. What is going on, guys? I am WatchJRGo, and like I said, we are back with my buddy Jesse's Miata, and today we are starting the assembly process of one of the very first Flyin Miata NC turbo kits in the world. So, like I mentioned in the first video, he ordered this the second the kit dropped, and later, you know, by the end of the day, we'll be probably halfway assembled on the turbo kit on this car. That's the hope for it. There is a lot of work that has to be done. Coolant feeds, oil feeds. We gotta, you know, tap into the side of the oil filter housing on this thing. There's a lot of work that needs done today, and we're gonna jump right in and start doing it. And the goal by the end of the day is for this table to look a little more empty. I don't know if it will, but I sure hope it does. It does look like Flyin Miata did a good job labeling all this stuff. And if you're wondering why I didn't just cut it all open, it's because they actually did label everything. So here's the battery box relocate, here's the oil supply bag, so that's the one we're starting with here. And also, this has existed for a long time. Look at that. 5/23/24, that means they started working on this a long time ago. Here's the washer fluid reservoir relocate. Wow. So we're starting out right here on the rear driver's side of the engine where the oil filter is. We have to pull the oil filter housing off the engine and just space it out a little bit because we need some room to get a T installed here. So the T goes right here, right at the back of the oil filter where the oil pressure sensor is. And that's that green connector. You can see just a little bit right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that unplugged, take a 24mm socket, unplug the sensor, remove the sensor, and then install the oil T. The oil T is this guy right here. Basically this screws into the housing, the sensor goes on here, and this is your oil supply for the turbo right here. Honorable mention to the NC Miata for having the worst oil filter location of all time, directly above this cross member, so the oil just drips from all over the place as soon as you loosen up the filter. Also, Zeus himself put that filter on. Have you ever had to use your electric ratchet plus the 3-jaw to get a filter off? I've fought some real oil filter battles, but usually a ratchet with like a pipe on the end will get it. There's no access in there at all, so if you don't have an electric ratchet and that filter's on there, good luck. I see why installing this T is the first step, because it's gotta be the longest part of the entire job. Getting those 4 bolts out of there is a small act of God. You're gonna need like 7 different extensions and swivels. You're gonna wanna come in from this side, from down there. You can actually see one of the bolts right there, that shiny spot. And then also you'll need 2 different extensions over here, but we've got the T in there, and when you do put the T on and when you put the pressure sender on, make sure you're using your thread sealant right there. And now I'm ready to put in our AN adapter right there after I finish clocking the sender. So that took probably an hour. I can't tell you how much of a process it is. You do have to replace the gasket in there as well. And while you're in there, do a really good job. I took a razor blade and made sure there was no like rough dirt around the gasket. Don't scrape on the surface because you don't want to, you know, scar that or anything. But then I took brake clean and a microfiber, cleaned all the oil out of there, then put the new gasket on, and then you have to torque it. And of course, you'll have to run through a bunch of different adapters. So I torqued it twice. We started at 18 and then went up to 22 foot-pounds, which is the spec. And also getting them out of there, it's a lot of work too. So if you're doing this, I'd say be prepared to spend most of your time on that. Now, let's get back to putting the oil lines in. All right, next step, take the rubber hose they give you in the kit, slit it all the way down, straight down the middle like this, and then you have to push the AN line for the turbo oil feed into that. So you'll probably need both hands, you gotta kind of spread it apart, and then just push the line in there, and then you have it protected. And this end here goes up against the T on the bottom, and the rest of that runs behind the engine. They also included some zip ties, so once I'm done getting the hose on there, I'll zip tie the hose on so it doesn't fall off. Back to the top side of the car, finally. Here's our oil supply line right there with its protective hose on it and all that good stuff. So now, we have to get this guy out of here, which clearly has red Loctite on it from the factory. And this is a 14mm hex, and I bet we're gonna have a breaker bar on this or some kind of impact with extensions. I'm gonna get in there right now and try to get that loose. It's the coolant passage, and once it's out, we'll throw thread sealant on this adapter right here from the coolant package, and that is where the turbo gets its coolant. So that just screws in to replace that plug. I think we all knew this was gonna happen, but I threw the 1/2" ratchet on there and had literally nothing against this red Loctite. So I upgraded my 1/2" ratchet. There we go. Good old jack handle to the rescue. And in we go with our new fitting here. Maybe. So that is what your water supply line should look like once it's all installed. Make sure you get your thread sealant on there. Probably have too much on there, honestly, but we've got the clamp on there, and we also have the anti-chafing and heat shield coating on there. This is nice silicone hose. And now we are just about ready to install the actual manifold. And while we're doing that, of course, I have to cut this cat off of here. So I'm gonna go ahead and start breaking these bolts loose just to make sure we can actually get the heat shielding off the cat, since we have to make a cut right about there and actually mount a clamp to this to get it back onto the turbo. Okay, I really thought the heat shield bolts were gonna be a fight because they are literally piles of rust. But the impact made quick work of those. You know, make sure you're squared up to the bolt and give it a couple quick hits. And obviously I did soak those in knocker loose before we started, and they came right off. So there you go. That is the exposed manifold in cat. And we're gonna take a grinding disc and literally cut everything right there above that weld. So I'm gonna cut all the way around that whole thing, and then we'll be left with just the cat and the O2 bungs. So with our water supply hose routed and clamped onto the firewall using the old stud from that shield that we're throwing away right there, it is time to install the studs on the manifold here. So the studs are going to install with the short side into the top of the turbo manifold like so. And this manifold also looks like it was jet hot coated, which is very cool. That should help keep temps down in there. Gotta love anything you can do to keep temps down in the engine bay, and Flyin Miata apparently just did it for you. So I'll get all these studs started, and then we'll use 2 nuts with a jam nut situation so we can crank all these things down to I think 16 foot-pounds of torque. And at that point we're ready to install the manifold on the car. This is pretty wild. Flyin Miata includes the nuts that you're gonna use to actually mount the turbo, along with these lock washers that are the kind that really don't back off. And they also include 2 standard nuts for you to use just to drive the install. So if you don't have a stud installation tool, they make sure you have everything you need to tighten these up and then run them down with the torque wrench. So that is very cool. And now you probably want to check the surface right here, make sure there's nothing weird going on. Obviously the mating surfaces are pretty critical for your exhaust right there. You don't want any exhaust leaks. And we have our fresh gasket sitting right here. So that is ready to go on. I did clean the mating surface already. It has been thoroughly wiped down and checked. So in with the new gasket. Should just need a little bit of a wiggle. And now on with our manifold. And then you mount it with the factory bolts. Now that's what I like to see right there. A flange sticking up and waiting for a turbo to drop right on top of it. So we're gonna tighten down the stock hardware. I think it's 32 to 47 foot-pounds, anywhere in that range right there. We'll give it a little bit of a wiggle to make sure everything lines up nicely, and then crank all those nuts down, and we're done with the power side almost, right? The big snail's gotta go right here, and we are ready to make some power after we feed it with a lot of oil and a lot of coolant. So we moved on to the turbo build now because it's about time to put it on the car. And when we do that, it's gonna look very cool. So you put some oil on this inverted flare fitting, put the AN line connection out like that. Look at that, it already has the orifice in it. You can't change it with a nitrous jet like we normally would on a turbo build. So they have decided that is how much oil that turbo is getting. Oil drain is on. You torque these to 24 foot-pounds, and it is gasketed. So those 2 bolts went in, and you know, you've got to make sure you line up this hook in the drain pipe with the flange right there. And this is a custom turbo, basically. It's a Garrett turbo, AR60, and they weld this flange back together after they rotate it to the right clocking for the Miata. I went ahead and installed the studs on the downpipe side as well, so those are in and torqued down. And now we have to, you can see bolts are missing on the compressor housing there, so these go in here and they hold it together, and they also hold the wastegate actuator. So this is gonna go on here and then eventually connect down to here. There's the rest of the wastegate shaft right there. You can see it in the bag. I'm gonna bolt all this together real quick and tighten it all up, and we should, I think that's it. I think after that, we're ready to put it on the car. We've got this turbo all dressed up and ready to go to the ball. Here is our water outlet. Our oil outlet is this drain pipe that goes straight down, oil in, and then the only thing we haven't done, and it happens on the car, is the water inlet there. Also the wastegate is on, and there's quite a bit of adjusting that you have to do with the wastegate installed, but that has all been done. And we are checked. They do say get this as close to center as possible, and that is as close to center as I could get it right there. I adjusted this 50 times, and that's really as good as it's gonna get. The only thing is if you get like way off center, or if it touches the edge of the housing, you can end up with more boost than you want. So at this point, it's all put together. So we are tight, everything's been checked, and it's ready to drop onto the car. So let's bolt on some horsepower. I already did this once. It does need 2 hands to get the drain pipe past the alternator. So give me a second to wiggle it. No gasket. That's actually interesting. You'd think there'd be a gasket in between the turbo and the manifold, but you know, I don't think they mention it, and I didn't see one either. So the turbo's on. Time to throw the nuts on here and tighten it up. Accessibility around the turbo is basically non-existent. I do want to put a note in there, but then you install these Nordlock washers, and then you install these nuts. These nuts have a crown side, and the crown goes up, of course, and you just kind of sneak in here. You gotta take your gloves off. You gotta sneak up on it, you know. That's how it works. All right, so once all this goes on, it's not coming off. Make sure you've checked everything. The manifold's been torqued. Every bolt on here has been torqued, and even these washers, like, they bite in. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to get this one on, this stud here. The housing for the turbo is like over the stud. There you go. Got the washer on, so we're getting somewhere. And there it is, guys. The turbo is fully mounted, torqued down on the manifold, and I have to tell you, this is going to take a long time. I like how they just say torque it down to 16 foot-pounds, but there's no world where any torque wrench or any torque device can fit underneath that turbo housing right there. I even have the Yellow Jacket torque wrench that has a crescent wrench end on it, and that couldn't be used for that because it's too long. So these two under the exhaust housing are just gonna have to be very tight. And then these two, you can get a torque wrench in if you use a wobble extension and a 13. So we got those ones done. That's just a note for anybody doing this at home. Good luck. You're left to your own devices here. So that is the end of day 2. Day 1 was disassembly. Day 2 was getting the manifold and the turbo on the car. And the next 2 days are the longest and most strenuous parts of the whole job, right? This took a while, but nothing compares to the plumbing. So we will be plumbing and cutting holes in the car and getting the intercooler mounted and piping this whole thing. And that is what's gonna be going on for the next solid 2 days. But hopefully on day 4, we're driving it out of here. Well, we have to. Anyway, that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop WatchJRGo.com for cool shirts just like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, and I will talk to you next time. All right, guys, I'm headed over to Hoobie's wedding. It is in 2 hours or something like that, so I gotta go clean up, and then we'll get back to this tomorrow. So if you haven't, congratulate Hoobie on getting married there. I'm sure he'll be posting his own updates with April, so you might have already said that before this video even comes out. Anyway, back to the Miata tomorrow.